Hi, so this is 3-1, Positive Exponents, and today it's going to be really short. Exponents are really, it's really simple. Um, Today's really basic. Tomorrow will be pretty basic. It's all like very simple things, so I don't expect this video to exceed maybe like 5-10 minutes. So, yeah, let's get started. So first of all, what is an exponent? So an exponent is basically a number that is written on top of your term, basically. Just basically how many times that your term will multiply by itself, basically. So if we have, for example, x squared written like this, that's how you write it. This is equal to x times x. Alright? Cube just basically means how many x's there are. So following this, we can kind of just figure out everything else from there. We have y to the fourth. That's equal to y times y times y. So that's all pretty simple. There really isn't any key concepts here other than, first of all, knowing this. And the next thing, a very important thing to remember when doing exponents is, first of all, obviously, exponents go right after parentheses in the order of operation, so you can't forget that. But the other thing is that to the 0th is 1, and anything to 1 is itself. So for example, x to the 0th is 1. X to the 1 is x. Alright, and then you just start doing that. And it's just like normal. But these are the things you need to remember. So you can take notes. So that's all there is going to be on the test. I mean, on the homework. Actually, there's one more thing, but this is mostly it. That's mostly everything there is on the. Thing we're gonna go over before we end this video is, first of all, there are things you can also take. Actually, first let us say this. Two, actually not two. Let's do x squared is equal to, when written on a computer, it can also be written as x caret 2. 2. You write it on a computer if you don't have, if you like can't find a control copy. This also means x squared. Right, so now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about square roots. So you don't really need to know what a square root is right now. We'll learn that in the next chapter, but all you need to know is that fraction is a square root. Like taking something to a fraction requires roots. So what does this mean? For example, if we have x to the 1/2 equal to the square root of x. First thing you need to realize when doing roots is that this is what is called the principal square root. And if you just see something like this, just the radical sign, 2, it's usually just a 2 here. It's what it means, but you don't write it because it's redundant, and this is just what everyone thought of as the square root. Another thing is that there are also plus and minus roots, which we'll all learn about, but just remember that x to the 1/2 is this. And here in the homework, it's written as this. Actually, no, it's like, let's see, So just keep in mind that that's how I have it in the homework so the next thing to remember is to write this formula in your notes. X to the A over B is equal to X write this in your notes. You'll need to use this on the homework and also on the test. It would be very important when dealing with this type of dealing with these types of equations. When you see these equations, when you have to like multiply or do operations with these, just remember this. And let's do a practice problem on something that we've learned that on the things that we just learned. So first of all, what is y to the 1/4? Pause the video and just think about it. You answered y to the 4th root, you'd be correct. The next question, let's do x to the 1/2. What is that equal to? If you answered the square root of x, then you'd be correct. Notice I did not put a 2 here. This is because this is usually just assumed to be a 2. You don't have to write it because that's what everyone that's just what square roots are. You don't have to write the 2. Writing the 2, you just don't write the 2 if it's just the square root. However, you do need to write the numbers here if it's others, because like for example, the last one we did y to the 1/4, so you need to put 4 here. Learn about roots more in depth, but for now, know about roots is that a root is basically how many times a number has to be multiplied. A number has to be multiplied until it gets to your original number. So, for example, if our original number was 16, and you want the 16 to the 1/4, and you want the 4th root of 16, it's just you try to find the number that when taken to the 4th root becomes 16. In this case, the answer is 2, because 2 is 16. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. This is 4, and this is 4. 4 times 4 is 16. So that's you don't really need to know this as much. We'll go over this next week as well, but that's really all you need to know. Let's do one more practice problem before we end. What is n to the 3/4? If you answered n third all to the 4th root, then you'd be correct. In the formula, a is put inside the root, and b is what type of root it is. That's all you need to know for today's homework and the test. The test will be on Friday as usual, and that's pretty much it. Go do the homework. You should be fine. We're going to go over roots next week in more in depth, but all you really need to know is the formula, and to the a over b is equal to the formula you need to remember, or just take note of, just like put it in your note, but because notes are allowed on the test. So that's it for this class. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, contact me. Do the homework. It's due Friday night as usual. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.